Today, just in time for St. Patrick's Day, lamb stew. It just felt like, you know, I was at Sam's with this big, beautiful Dutch oven. And it's almost St. Patrick's Day, so it just felt like I needed to make some lamb stew. Now, lamb is one of my favorite things, and my husband raised sheep for probably over 50 years, so we both love lamb. Unfortunately, he's not here to get to have some lamb stew. Now, I found this lamb, and this is American lamb, which made me really super happy. I have absolutely nothing against New Zealand lamb, but if I can support American farmers and get lamb that's born and raised here in the USA, then that's what I'm going to do. So this is just labeled as stew meat. You can do shoulder, you can do leg, any kind of cut like that, and cut it up yourself. This was a whole lot cheaper because a whole leg of lamb was pretty expensive, and I didn't want a whole leg of lamb. You want about 2 cups of lamb, or two pounds of lamb, and this is each one of these is just short of a pound, but it's going to be perfect for us. Now, I do prefer to kind of cut my own and make sure it's all uniform. But if it's a big piece like this, I want to go ahead and cut that down because I want it more bite size. So I'm just going to kind of go through, and if they're big, cut them up. So I have my Dutch oven heating up. I'm going to do probably medium-high heat here. And I've got 4, this might be 5 pieces of bacon. And I'm going to give that a quick dice. And we're going to get that going in our Dutch oven to start browning. So into the Dutch oven with this bacon. And we're just going to let that cook and brown while we start getting the rest of our ingredients together. So for my lamb, I'm going to go ahead and season that. Kosher salt, fresh pepper, and probably a good at least half a teaspoon of salt. I have a 1/4 cup of flour. I'm not using all that. I'm going to save some of that. And then we're just going to toss that, and we're going to set that aside for a few moments while we're waiting on our bacon to finish cooking. So we'll keep an eye on my bacon. I'm going to dice 1 onion. And then I have some carrots here. And you're going to want like at least 2 cups of carrots. I don't know if I'm going to cut all 4 of those. And I have 1.5 pounds of little red potatoes. Little Yukons are good here too. And I have those washed and ready to go. And then I happen to have a parsnip just because I like parsnips. So you can either do some celery or a parsnip. And then I'm going to mince up 4 cloves of garlic. Now, if you want to do this in your crock pot, absolutely do this in your crock pot. You're going to have to do this cooking part on the stove and then just transfer everything to your crock pot. We're going to put this in the oven. So I've got my oven heating up, and I'm going to do mine at a nice slow temperature, 325. We're not looking to rush anything here. And now you're going to want to remove your bacon and leave all of that beautiful bacon grease inside there. And we're just going to set that aside. And then we're going to, where'd I put it? Right here. It's right here. Sear off our lamb. And do this in batches. Don't overcrowd your pan. You don't want it to steam. You want it to sear. And we're just going to brown this for just a couple minutes. Give it a nice brown on all sides. So just keep rotating it out until all of your lamb is browned. So while my lamb is browning, I'm going to get my vegetables cut. And again, you want nice bite-sized pieces. I only peeled 3 of those carrots. I think I'm probably a pretty good size. Only use 3 of them. I'm going to cut my parsnip, again, the same size. The potatoes, I think we'll probably 1/4 them. So a long time ago, when I was chef at a place called Patrick's in Vinings, Georgia, I don't know, sometime in the 90s, mid-90s, you'd think you would remember these things. But because they were Irish Padraics. The owner named it after his son. His son was named Padraic. Anyway, we had a big St. Patrick's Day celebration, and out in the parking lot, did a whole lamb over a spit, and I did rabbit and Guinness stew, very Irish things, and we were very busy that day. So I got one more batch of my lamb to brown. Now, a great thing for your lamb stew is some Guinness. I tried to find, well, I only went to 2 stores, and believe it or not, neither one of them had Guinness. So I'm going to do red wine today instead of Guinness, but you can do a can of Guinness here. I was lucky enough to go to the Guinness factory in Dublin, and at the top there's a bar that's windows all around, and so you can see all around Dublin, and you get a pint of Guinness. And I will tell you, it was the best, probably the best beer I ever had, but definitely the best Guinness. It was amazing. So my friend Kim and I, Kim, are you watching? Wasn't that fun? I think our mistake was we went to Jameson and Guinness on the same day. So luckily there was no driving. We had one of the buses taking us around. So, but we sure had fun. So I'm gonna pull this out. We're gonna put our onion in. I'm just gonna, I think, bring you down here, because pretty much for now everything's happening here in this, the big orange dream over here. There's a big beautiful view. If you kind of don't have much oil left in it, then give just a little swirl of some extra virgin olive oil in with our onions, and we just want to cook those and let those soften. And if you see this, this was the video I just did, and I don't know if it'll come up before or after this, but anyway, French onion chicken thighs, so amazing. Gruyere cheese on there, and it's in this French onion sauce, so delicious. And while that's happening, I'll probably go ahead and quarter these little potatoes. Okay, so our onions are done. I'm going to add that garlic, give that a minute, and then I'm going to add to that 2 tablespoons of butter. Let that melt, and then the rest of that flour that we didn't put on the lamb, in we go. Give that a minute to cook, and then this is where you're going to want to put your Guinness. If you are using a Guinness, put a can of Guinness in here. And since I'm using wine, I'm probably just going to do about a half a cup of wine. That's going to help us deglaze and pick up all that fond off the bottom, all those tasty bits. And while that's cooking, I'm going to go about 2 tablespoons of tomato paste, a teaspoon each of dried oregano and dried thyme. I'm going to do another teaspoon of kosher salt. I'm in there with our pepper, 4 cups of chicken stock, a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. We're going to put all of that lamb back in there with all the juices that it let out. Our potatoes, this was 1.5 pounds potatoes. Make sure I cut them all. Our carrots and parsnips. And then our bacon. And put that bacon back in there. Lately I've been forgetting stuff, so I'm looking around. I even set it out and forget it. So because I have this time, I'm going to use it. If you don't really have to go out and buy time if you didn't have time, but since I have it, I'm going to sneak that in there. A couple bay leaves. We're going into that 325-degree oven. 2.5 hours. I am going to check on it halfway through, see how it's doing, and give it a stir. But I'll see you here in a couple hours. 2 hours later. Oh, yeah. Looky there. Oh, it smells so good. Hooray, hooray for us. Now, I am so excited about this. Take those thyme out of there. Potatoes feel tender. Carrots tender. I think we're perfect. Lamb tender. I'm going to set that out there. I'll set it over here. I'm going to let that cool before I try to take a bite for you. So here we go. Beautiful lamb stew. I hope you love lamb as much as Billy and I do. This will absolutely warm your soul. I even baked a couple biscuits. Have a biscuit with it. This is my dinner. Biscuit and some stew. I'll sit that there for a minute. I want to taste. Make sure that our lamb is good and tasty. Billy, honey, my angel, I'm so sorry you're not here to have this with me. Perfect. Perfectly tender. So delicious. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Happy every day. Because honestly, every day is a good day for lamb stew, if you ask me. Simple, wholesome ingredients that make a beautiful stew. Thanks for being here with me today. I sure do appreciate it. See y'all later. Bye.